In this edition of Knowledge Series, we will start with Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyaan, Self-Reliant India. But this initiative is so big and it runs in 3 editions. So, we will try to spread our discussion on the Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyaan in 4 sessions. And to start with, today we will take overview of the scheme and then we will try to dissect what is there in Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyaan 1, 2 and 3 separately in subsequent videos. So, to start with, we will talk about the Self-Reliant India, how to transform India into self-reliant. That is, we should make most of products and services within India as far as possible, and to be able to supply, to be able to provide, to be able to export to other countries. So, to begin with, it goes much beyond the aspirations of meeting the crisis arising out of the pandemic, because this is such a large initiative, it is such a strategic initiative that its benefit, if it is implemented at different levels, at state level, district level, panchayat level and at the block levels, and if it can reach the bottom of the pyramid, I think it can transform the country into a very vibrant one with a lot of employment generation, lot of inclusion of the people in the development, and the aspiration is to convert India into a manufacturing hub for rest of the world. We have rolled out Make in India program, and it is still in progress, it is working, and I think this initiative, which is now Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyaan, I think it will pump prime the capacity of manufacturing in India, which is presently providing about 30 to 31% of the GDP, and it is connected to many of the sectors, but most important for improving the manufacturing capacity is multifold. First, as far as ease of doing business is concerned, we have improved our capacity to provide the necessary ecosystem for manufacturing. The technology is improving, and we are in a position to reskill the people who are working in the manufacturing sector. Way forward, there has to be a much more intensive training of the manpower required to catch up with the international quality, so that manufacturing can be improved to that extent. Now, as far as the composite scheme is concerned, it provides about 30 trillion worth of various benefits which have been built into the 3 editions of Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyaan. And this we will shortly call as ANBA, that is Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyaan, so that every time we need not repeat the same thing. ANBA we will be using. Now, ANBA is more focused on manufacturing in the domestic sector, ease of doing business, ease in licensing, providing clearances, and single window as far as clearing the processes and procedures are concerned, including the clearances of licenses and environmental clearances and all the things which are related to the manufacturing. and it should be able to generate the kind of employment. And when we see this together with the emphasis that is given on expanding the MSME sector, I think one will be able to complement the other and bring about a radical improvement in the capacity of manufacturing in the country. So that is the reason why it is expected that GDP will be in double digit after we come out of the pandemic, not only because the base is low because of the degrowth of this during this year, but even otherwise India has the potentiality to grow in double digit in the coming years, because we are having the aspiration to catch up with a 5 trillion economy way forward. So for that the ease of doing business has been rebuilt, so that the entrepreneurs can get the convenience, comfort of the processes, and the GST will be connecting more of the units into the technology hub, so that people will be digitizing their accounting systems. And a lot of emphasis has been given under various heads to the MSME sector, both the near term, medium term and the long term changes, including the change in the definitions which have been brought in, and healthcare in the budget which we have seen recently, a huge leap in the budget allocation by about 137% because of the experience of pandemic, the preparedness of the country for any type of emergencies of the kind that we have experienced now. We should be having the capacity to be able to handle that kind of emergency. So health care comes to the focus. Then lot of construction activities were affected during the pandemic. So ANBA provides lot of concessions as far as construction sector is concerned, and allocations of funds for various benefits which are built, they are also being revamped, so that the construction sector gets the fillip needed to improve productivity. And lot of emphasis has been given on building infrastructure, roads, ports, railways, aviation sector, and all related infrastructure projects. Suitable changes have been made to simplify the procedures and to ensure that enough funds flow to these sectors. And in the union budget, if we can recollect and connect both of them, the development financial institution is proposed to be set up to provide funds to the infrastructure sector. In the next 3 years, it is expected that about 5 trillion rupees will flow into this sector. So this is also part of ANBA proposals. And real estate is another sector which comes into focus as different kinds of measures, which we will be discussing at length when we discuss about the ANBA first edition, second edition, third edition separately in separate, so that we can get a clue of what exactly has happened. But the overall perspective is the real estate should come back to the mainstream and ensure that it gets activated, and the slowdown which was experienced in the last 1 year. And one thing we should always keep in mind, whenever one sector ails, there are so many dependent agencies, dependent small activities which gets very badly affected, including the service sector. They will not be having the kind of activities that are to be that are otherwise available. And stressed sectors is another worrying point. Among the stressed sectors, financial sector and banks are the worried lot. And for that, not exactly in ANBA, but as part of addressing the stress, which is also a part of, which was a part of the budget, a bad bank is being set up in the form of setting up a special purpose vehicle, that is asset reconstruction company, which will take over the bad loans. Of course, the modus operandi of how the transfers will take place, how it is going to de-stress this sector, those things are yet to be worked out. But on the whole, ANBA is contemplating to provide relief to the financial sector so that it can come back to the mainstream. And ANBA also articulates certain policies to ensure that public-private participation is more tilted towards private sector. That is, private sector should pitch in for building the various sectors of the economy. And for that, lot of plans to divest government ownership is also being planned, and various policy prescriptions are being put in place, so that gradually except the strategic sectors, all other sectors will be, divestment will take place gradually, the government ownership will come down. Now even a couple of public sector banks are proposed to be privatized, and an insurance company is also going to be privatized. So there will be a good blend of public and private sector, so that the efficiency of the system increases and India moves towards self-reliance and is made future ready. So in addition to Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana, which was mooted when the lockdown was in progress, so that people will get some relief, immediate relief in the form of cash flows. So if we can remember, some of the rupees 500 was credited to some of the identified Prime Minister's Jan Dhan Yojana accounts. So this would have provided much relief to some of the people who were deprived of their livelihood and who were suffering with cash crunch. So Atmanirbhar Bharat Yojana is an umbrella prescription containing various measures which will be able to bring two big changes. One is employment generation, second is increasing the manufacturing capacity with a potentiality to improve the export capability, where MSME will play a much more prominent role in building the manufacturing capacity. And on the other side, infrastructure, construction, real estate, these sectors will build the infrastructure in the country, and even agriculture sector to improve the rural economy has been properly addressed with requisite subsidies and benefits which are provided in ANBA. So ANBA we can look as a big aspiration to put India on a different higher growth trajectory, so that we will be in a position to compete with the rest of the world with more of initiatives, more of enthusiasm, more of commitment, more capacity and more skill sets we will be able to develop. So now the responsibility rests with the states and the district units to ensure that the spirit of ANBA is implemented with full vigor, so that the benefits reach target group of people and we can see a growing India everywhere, even in the hinterland. So I think we will be talking about the granular policy initiatives under each edition of ANBA separately in separate videos. That is, 3 videos will follow for ANBA 1, ANBA 2 and ANBA 3 so that we can understand the whole concept in a concise way, but with required granularity. So let's look forward for more discussion on ANBA, and before I end, my request continues that share, subscribe and put your comments on the comment section so that we can be on interactive mode. Thank you so much.